What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming back to my channel. What we got here is a tub today, and this tub is actually in pretty good condition. It's got some stains on the bottom, but other than that, they just installed new tile. It's 10 o'clock. It actually just turned 10. So the reason why they have me do this is because they just installed the tile and it's really shiny and new, and that's got some stains on the bottom. And it's not as white as the tile. It's a little off-white. So I'm going to do how I always do. I start my day. I squirt some etch on there. Yes, wear your mask. I got my headphones on to keep me company. And I always do this first. I grab my tool bag, and whenever I train anybody, I train them to do it this way. I grab my tool bag, I etch it. It's got my basic stuff in there. I use my little brush, and the reason for that is because of the new tile. I don't want to use just anything. I'll splatter some etch on the tile that will show. Just like this etch will take any glaze off of the tub, it will take the glaze off of the tile also, and it will be visible. When you go in that bathroom, you see that shiny tile, and you see little dots, and you could touch them and they feel rough, and it's not going to wash off. You'll know that you damaged the tile. So just got to be mindful of things like that. And I could clearly see where I missed when using the brush. Then I get the overflow. I took the overflow cover off and get in there. I don't want to have a paint edge there. That's a pretty popular spot for peeling. Now, this has to sit for 10 minutes. And this is another big key about getting jobs done quickly. Some people like to bring all their stuff in, set up, and then etch. And what happens is when they put the etch down, they're just standing there. They're completely set up, and they don't let the etch sit long enough. So my way of solving that problem, so I do get a good full etch and I get that thing nice and dull, is to actually just come in with my tool bag, put some etch on there, and when I do, the 10 minutes I use to get my ventilator and to get my HVLP sprayer, get my guns ready for mixing paint. I don't mix the paint just yet, but I run my ventilator hose out the window. I might have to take off the screen if it doesn't slide up, and things like that. And by then, 10 minutes have come and gone, and I could easily just wash that off. So through the magic of editing, 10 minutes are over, and now I just wash it off with a rag. It's pretty easy. This job here, it's actually in a really nice neighborhood. Most of the time, at least 99% of the time when I do these, the apartments are vacant, which is extremely comfortable, not having anything in there, and not having to worry about other people's things, which is probably one of the biggest cons of doing this job. There aren't that many, but that is one of the biggest. And usually these jobs are the easiest, so you want to do the best job possible. They do charge a lot of money for these apartments, so they want them to look in tip-top shape. And now I'm just drying the tub out. Now the tub won't completely dry, so I will start to set up and prepping everything. Of course, the shower head. I always do this. People forget this, but from the other apartments, sometimes it burps from people flushing. It's just the way the plumbing is set up in certain areas that it will make your faucet or your shower drip. So I always put a glove on the shower head. And here I'm taping up the handle to the shower so I don't accidentally bump the handle and turn the water on, whether spraying or just even prepping. I'm covering the overflow, and I'm running my magic. Oh no, right now I'm just, sorry about that. I'm drying off the drain so I can get a good cut. Water gets in there between the drain and the tub. So you gotta make sure you get that nice and dry. When you go to cut the tape, all of it will just slip right off. Of course, use a fresh razor. Always use a fresh razor, just like when doing the kitchen sinks. And it'll come off nice and easy and perfect line. Here is the first most important thing in the prep game, is that line right there, that strip of tape. That is my caulk line. And the video's going fast, but you really have to take your time doing that. I might be moving a little bit fast also, but I've been doing it for so long, I'm just so used to it. Now I'm just using my best friend. It's a 3M masking machine. I mean, this thing, I think I'm gonna say it in every video because I can't help it. It's worth the 2-3 first jobs that you do, the headache, have them take you 15-20 minutes longer just so you could get to learn how to use this machine, because once you do, you can't undo it. You just really can. It was like, I don't know how to ever explain it. It's one of the reasons why I was always the fastest for all 3 companies that I worked for. That was one of the reasons. Always using that, getting real good at using that machine. It just works so fast. It's so much easier. It's just a learning curve, just like karate. You got to learn certain stands, but once you practice it, that becomes your stance. And here I'm covering up the toilet. This is another thing that people don't do. They think, oh, it's white, but you can actually see the paint and you could feel it. It really gets everywhere, the overspray, and you have to be careful and very mindful. Just imagine it was your place, your husband or wife complain about overspray and how you just redid the whole bathroom and now there's paint on the toilet that doesn't come off. So just keep that in mind. Just cover the toilet. I wrap it like it's a gift, as you can see. Paper goes everywhere. Another thing I wanted to say is you might never have seen anything like this before. Ask. If you live in an apartment complex, ask them, do they have a tub refinisher? And what do they charge for tub refinishing? You can say it's for a friend of yours, and you could see that some people don't know. Well, ask them how they do it. And people really don't know what's going on with that. This is a pretty good, it wasn't clickbait when I said this is a secret business. People really don't know about this. And I'm not trying to do any trickery algorithm on how to make this YouTube channel get thousands and thousands of views and thousands of subscribers. I'm really, truly just showing as many people as I can on this business. There's money for everybody in this. It's pretty simple. It's not easy. Anybody can do it though. If you're fully functional, you're not handicapped, you have a driver's license and a vehicle, dependable vehicle, you can do this business. When I first started this, I was running in I think it was a 2003 Corolla. Tiny car, everything fit in the trunk. So if you have anything like that or bigger, then you could run this business. I just blew some air in there to make sure I got rid of any dust, and now I'm putting in the primer. And whenever we do this, I usually do about 2 to 3 coats, depending on the temperature in that bathroom and how well it's spraying. If I can get 2 thick coats on there, medium coats, and great. If not, if it's too cold and it might run on me, I'll put 3 light coats. I got to air dry it between the coats, so I'm not going to show you blow drying this thing for 10-15 minutes. Usually I'll just hang the hose down and I'll go mix the top coat while while it's getting air. When I teach people how to do this, I usually have them have systems in place so that they know that enough time has passed between coats, and this avoids any runs or drips, because this is the easiest part of the business and time starts to go slow here. So you just got to keep yourself busy. Spraying literally takes about 10 to 15 seconds to spray a coat. So what are you going to do with the extra 10 minutes that you have to wait for it to dry? You just let it hang like that. Right now I'm mixing the top coat. That was literally like about 15 minutes. Okay, it looks like I'm putting in a 3rd coat of primer. The temperature must have been a little bit cold. I think if I can remember, I had the AC on really high because it was a hot, humid day, and the apartment was humid when I walked in. So I had the AC pumping really strong. So just as before, I lay that down, There goes my 3 coats of primer. Time to go mix some top coat. And through the magic of editing, bam, there goes about 15-20 minutes. I did mix my primer, I got a little drink, and I talked to one of the maintenance guys, and that was pretty much my time. And now I'm gonna put the top coat on, and from all the manufacturers that I've used, the top coat is actually, it tacks up much quicker, so you're pretty much at the home stretch now. And the only thing you have to remember is to move nice and smooth, nice and fast, and stay nice and close to the tub to get a nice shiny coat. Too far from the tub, if you have too much fear, it'll actually orange peel, which means you could actually see lines. It'll look like the skin of an orange. So you just move on there real fast, put that first coat on, put some air on it, and while that air is blowing, what do I do with my time? I go and I clean my first gun, my primer gun. And by the time I'm done cleaning that, and I take my time cleaning it very good for the next day, that coat is nice and dry. And it's ready for the second coat to actually dry up well enough that you could spray it on pretty heavy, that next coat, as if it was the first coat. And you can get a really good shine on there. I mean, really good, like a new tub. But like I said, you just gotta do things in between because you're literally watching paint dry. It's a figure of speech for other people, but it is facts for me and my business. Watching paint dry is super boring. And you could stand there for a minute and it'll feel like 5 minutes. So 2-3 minutes of just standing there and you'll think, okay, that's enough time. Let me put on the next coat. And what will happen is you'll get a run or a drip. And now you have to come back the next day to fix that. So with that being said, I think I put on the second coat and I went to go clean my gun. Coming back, it'll be time to tear down in a minute. Let's see. The tub is pretty much done, folks. That's it. I'm peeling it off. Now, I want you to understand something. I was here for a little while. I know the video is less than 10 minutes long. But as you can see, that paper machine, everything comes off pretty easy. There isn't much trash. There's just so many pros to doing this. I'll make a video next time about the cons, but this was my morning, was a tub here. And while I was doing this, maintenance had asked me if I could do another job for them. So that actually doubled up on my work. And here it is, me putting in my caulk line. You notice that I still have that one stripe of tape going across the tub. And that's because I'm gonna lay the caulking down there. I'm not gonna freehand it. I'm using the tape as a guide. So when I wipe that thing down, as straight as that tape line is as straight as my caulk line is gonna be. I mean, it'll look like factory made. Seriously, nobody can get it that good. Not freehand. In fact, sometimes I'll pull, and if I have too much caulking in there, I'll just run my fingers across, but I've already made the lines, so I'm not actually spreading it anymore. I'm just pushing that edge up against the tile. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can't beat that. That right there, June 2022, cost that company $500 for me to refinish it. It actually looks whiter than the tile now. The hardest thing was being on my knees. But how long did it take for 500 bucks? Let's go take a look. Let's go back downstairs. I know it's a weird split level apartment. And there it is. 2 hours. 2 hours, 500 bucks.